Captain Jake Morrison walked across the bridge of the Earthship Horizon. His boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. The bridge was quiet except for the hum of computers and the beep of monitors. Everyone was waiting. Dr. Lisa Parker sat at her station, her fingers moving over the keyboard. She had worked on this message for 3 years. Every word had to be perfect. Every phrase had to be clear. The aliens had to understand exactly what Earth was saying. "How much longer?" Jake asked. Lisa looked up from her screen. 5 minutes, maybe less. Jake nodded and walked to the big window that showed space. Stars filled the black sky like tiny diamonds. Somewhere out there, alien ships moved between worlds. Alien races fought wars. Alien empires grew bigger every day. Earth had watched it all happen for 50 years. Commander Rick Hayes stood near the communication panel. He had never liked this plan. "We should stay hidden," he had said many times. "Let them fight their wars. We can stay safe in our corner of space." But Admiral Helen Brooks had made the choice. She was the leader of Earth's defense forces. She was the one who decided what humanity would do, and she had decided it was time to speak. Jake remembered the first time they found the alien signals. It was 30 years ago. Scientists picked up strange radio waves from space. At first, they thought it was just noise. Then they realized the truth. The signals had patterns. They had meaning. They were messages between alien worlds. Earth built bigger and bigger radio dishes. They listened to everything. Slowly, they learned the alien languages. They discovered alien politics. They found out about the wars and the empires and the slave races. The biggest empire was called the Vorthak Hegemony. They controlled hundreds of worlds. They took resources from weaker races. They forced millions of beings to work as slaves. They grew stronger every year by attacking smaller groups. There was also something called the Galactic Council. It was supposed to keep peace between the races. But the council was weak. They talked a lot but did nothing. They let the strong ones do whatever they wanted to the weak ones. Earth learned about the Traders' Union, too. They moved goods between worlds. They said they were neutral, but they sold weapons to anyone who paid them. They did not care who got hurt. All these groups were slowly moving toward Earth's part of space. They fought over planets and resources. Soon they would reach the outer rim sectors near Earth's solar system. "Ready, Captain," Lisa said. Jake walked back to the center of the bridge. "Send it." Lisa pressed a button. The message left Earth at the speed of light. It would reach every major alien power at the same time. Earth had built special transmitters just for this moment. The aliens would not be able to ignore it or miss it. The message was short and simple. Lisa had written it in 12 different alien languages. She made sure every word was clear. No alien race could say they did not understand. "This is Earth. We know you exist. We know about the hegemony's expansion. We know about the slave races. We know about the resource wars. This is your only warning. Leave the outer rim sectors alone. Humanity claims no territory except our own system, but we will not tolerate expansion toward our region of space. Consider this a professional courtesy." Commander Rick Hayes shook his head. "They will think we are crazy, one small world telling the whole galaxy what to do." "Maybe," Jake said, "but they will also wonder how we learned their languages. They will wonder how we know about their wars. They will wonder what else we know." Dr. Amy Watson walked onto the bridge. She was Earth's best expert on alien behavior. She had studied every race for 20 years. "The Vorthak will send ships," she said. "They always test new threats with force. The council will debate for weeks and do nothing. The traders will try to figure out what they can sell us. How long do we have? Jake asked. 2 weeks for the Vorthak response, maybe 3. They will send a standard intimidation fleet, 12 big ships, enough to scare most worlds into giving up. Jake smiled. Good. That gives us time to get ready. Admiral Brooks appeared on the main screen. She was calling from Earth Command. Message sent, Captain. Now we wait. What if they ignore us? Rick asked. Brooks looked at him through the screen. Then they will learn why we gave them a warning in the first place. Jake knew what she meant. For 50 years, Earth had done more than just listen to alien signals. They had also built things. Amazing things. Terrible things. Things the galaxy had never seen before. While the aliens fought with bigger guns and thicker armor, Earth had found different paths. Human scientists had discovered how to change matter itself. They had learned to control time and space. They had built machines that could think faster than any organic brain. But Earth had kept all of this secret. They had stayed hidden and quiet. They had hoped the galaxy would leave them alone. Now that hope was gone. The alien empires were too close. Their wars were spreading toward Earth. Soon, human worlds would be in danger. So Earth had decided to give them one chance, one warning, one opportunity to step back and leave humanity alone. Most of the crew thought the aliens would ignore the warning. Dr. Watson was probably right about the Vorthak sending ships. The galaxy was used to taking what it wanted from weaker races, but the galaxy had never met humans before. Signal sent and confirmed, Lisa reported. Every major power will receive it within 6 hours. Jake looked out at the stars again. Soon, those aliens would learn something new. They would learn that sometimes the quiet ones are the most dangerous. They would learn that warnings should be taken seriously. But first, they would probably try to make Earth obey them. They would send their big ships and their threats. They would expect humanity to surrender like so many other races had done. Jake almost felt sorry for them. Almost. The bridge grew quiet again. Everyone went back to their work, but they all knew that everything had just changed. Earth was no longer hidden. The galaxy would soon know that humans existed, and humanity was ready for whatever came next. The alien response came exactly as Dr. Amy Watson had predicted. Commander Ben Torres was watching the long-range sensors when 12 huge shapes appeared on his screen. They had dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Contact! Ben called out at 12 large vessels, Vorthak design. Distance: 50 million kilometers and closing. Captain Jake Morrison walked to Ben's station. The sensor display showed 12 massive ships moving toward Earth. Each one was 3 kilometers long. Each one carried enough weapons to destroy a planet. Any communication from them? Jake asked. Nothing, Ben replied. They are not even trying to talk to us. Jake was not surprised. The Vorthak hegemony never talked first. They showed up with big ships and expected everyone to surrender. It had worked for them for hundreds of years. Admiral Helen Brooks appeared on the main screen from Earth Command. Her face was calm, but her eyes were hard. Captain, you are cleared to begin Operation Lesson. Show them what they came to see. Understood, Admiral. Jake turned to his crew. All stations, prepare for combat demonstration. Lisa, send the final. Warning. Dr. Lisa Parker sent one last message to the approaching Vorthak fleet. It was even shorter than the first one. This is Earth. You were warned. Turn back now or face the consequences. The alien ships did not even slow down. Commander, Rick Hayes had been monitoring alien communication networks for weeks. He had listening posts scattered across space, hidden in asteroids and on dead planets. The aliens never knew Earth was watching and listening to everything they said. "What is the galaxy saying about our warning?" Jake asked Rick. Rick pulled up his reports. "The Galactic Council is calling us primitive upstarts. They think we somehow intercepted their communications by accident. They are planning to send a diplomatic team after the Vorthak deal with us." "What about the other races?" "The Zephyrian Alliance wants to study our crude technology. The Crystalline Syndicate thinks we might be useful as a client race. The Traders Union is already planning what they want to sell us after we surrender." Jake shook his head. The aliens really did not understand. They saw one unknown world sending messages and thought it was funny. They had no idea what they were really dealing with. Dr. Amy Watson walked onto the bridge with a thick folder of reports. She had been studying alien reactions for 2 weeks. "The psychology reports are interesting," she said. "Every major race is responding exactly as predicted. The Vorthak are showing off their strength. The Council is debating endlessly. The traders are looking for profit opportunities." "What about the smaller races?" Jake asked. "The enslaved species are watching carefully. Some of their hidden communications mention hope. They think maybe someone might finally stand up to the big empires." Jake looked at Amy's reports. Intelligence teams had been monitoring every alien network they could find. The picture was clear. The galaxy was divided into strong races and weak races. The strong ones took whatever they wanted. The weak ones suffered and hoped for rescue that never came. It had been this way for thousands of years. Empire rose and fell, but the pattern stayed the same. The strong ruled and the weak served. Commander Kyle Stevens had been tracking diplomatic communications. The aliens were already planning how to divide up Earth's resources after they conquered it. "The Vorthak want our rare metals," he reported. "The Council wants to study our unusual development. The traders want exclusive rights to sell things to our population." "They think we are already defeated," Jake said. "They think this is already over," Kyle agreed. But Earth had been preparing for this moment for decades. While the aliens fought their wars with bigger and bigger weapons, human scientists had gone a different way. They had found new laws of physics. They had built machines that worked in ways the galaxy had never seen. Captain Pete Collins commanded the Earth ship Defiance. His voice came over the communication system. "Jake, we are in position, ready to begin the demonstration." Captain Nina Rodriguez was commanding the Independence. "Ready here too, Jake. Let us show them what they missed while they were busy conquering each other." Jake looked at the tactical display. 3 Earth ships faced 12 alien dreadnoughts. The aliens probably thought it was a joke. Their ships were huge and powerful. Earth's ships looked small and weak, but size was not everything. The Vorthak fleet was still approaching. They were sending scans toward Earth's ships, trying to figure out what kind of weapons and shields the humans had. The scans would not find anything useful. Earth's technology did not work the way alien technology worked. "Distance to enemy fleet?" Jake asked. 10 million kilometers, Ben reported. "They will be in weapons range in 15 minutes. Jake opened a channel to the other Earth ships. "Pete, Nina, you know the plan. We show them just enough to make them stop and think. We do not want to reveal everything yet." "Understood," Pete replied. "Ready when you are," Nina added. Jake looked around the bridge. His crew was calm and focused. They had trained for this moment for years. They knew what they had to do. The Vorthak ships were getting closer. Soon they would start shooting. They expected Earth's ships to explode quickly. They expected humanity to surrender after seeing their power. They were going to be very surprised. "Sir," Ben called out, "the lead Vorthak ship is charging weapons." "Good," Jake said. "Let them shoot first. Record everything. The galaxy needs to see who started this. Fight!" The alien ships opened fire. Beams of energy and streams of particles crossed space toward Earth's ships. It was enough firepower to destroy a small moon, but the weapons never reached their targets. Dr. Rachel Green had spent 10 years working on the shield systems. They did not block incoming fire like normal shields. Instead, they convinced the energy beams that they did not want to exist anymore. The alien weapons simply faded away into nothing. "No damage," Ben reported. "Shields holding." Jake smiled. "Nina, your turn. Show them something interesting." The Independence moved forward toward the alien fleet. It was much smaller than any of the Vorthak ships, but it moved in ways that made no sense. It seemed to skip across space, appearing in different places without traveling through the space between. Nina's voice came through the speakers. "Beginning spatial displacement demonstration." The Independence vanished and reappeared right in the middle of the Vorthak formation. The alien ship spun around, trying to target it, but it kept jumping from place to place. Their big guns could not track something that did not obey the normal rules of movement. "Pete, your turn," Jake said. The Defiance powered up its special systems. Captain Pete Collins had worked with Earth's computer experts to build something the galaxy had never seen. His ship could talk to other ships' computers. It could convince alien machines to stop working for their crews. One by one, the Vorthak ships began to have problems. Their weapons stopped firing. Their shields flickered and died. Their engines started running in reverse. The alien crews found themselves fighting their own ships. Jake watched it all happen on his screens. In 5 minutes, the mighty Vorthak fleet had been turned into floating junk. They were not destroyed, but they were helpless. "Open a channel to the Vorthak commander," Jake ordered. A large alien face appeared on the screen. It had 4 eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. The Vorthak looked angry and confused. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of Earth Defense. You were warned to stay away. You chose to ignore that warning. Your ships are disabled but not destroyed. This is your lesson. Take it back to your empire and tell them what you learned here." Alien Commander tried to speak, but no sound came out. His ship's communication system was not working properly anymore. Jake cut the connection. "Nina, Pete, let us go home. I think we made our point." The 3 Earth ships left the Vorthak fleet floating helplessly in space. It would take them days to repair their systems and weeks to get home. By then, word would have spread across the galaxy. Everyone would know that Earth had defeated 12 Vorthak dreadnoughts with just 3 small ships. The aliens would start to realize that maybe they should have listened to the warning after all. The news of the Vorthak defeat spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. Commander Tony Adams was monitoring alien communication networks when the reports started flooding in. "Sir, we are picking up emergency transmissions from every major power," Tony reported to Admiral Helen Brooks. "The Vorthak survivors made it home. They are telling everyone what happened here." Admiral Brooks studied the intelligence reports on her desk. "What are they saying?" "The Vorthak High Command is calling it impossible. They say humans must have some kind of new weapon technology. The Galactic Council is demanding an emergency session. The Traders Union wants to know if they can buy whatever we used on those ships." Brooks nodded. She had expected this reaction. The galaxy was not used to seeing the mighty Vorthak hegemony defeated by anyone, especially not by 3 small ships from an unknown world. "What about the smaller races?" she asked. Tony smiled. "The enslaved species are very interested. Some of them are asking if Earth might help them against their masters. The free worlds are split. Some want to ally with us. Others are scared we might conquer them too." Brooks looked at the tactical display on her wall. Red dots showed Vorthak territory. Blue dots showed other major powers. Green dots showed free worlds and smaller races. Yellow dots showed areas of conflict. There were a lot of red and yellow dots. "Sir," Tony continued, "we are also picking up fleet movements. The Vorthak are gathering ships. A lot of ships." "How many?" "At least 500 warships so far. Maybe more. They are calling in fleets from all over their territory." Brooks was not surprised. The Vorthak hegemony ruled through fear and strength. If one small world could defeat them, other races might start getting ideas. The Vorthak had to crush Earth quickly and completely, or their entire empire might collapse. Captain Jake Morrison walked into the command center. He had just returned from the battle at the edge of the solar system. "Admiral, the horizon is ready for whatever comes next." "Good, because it is coming fast," Brooks replied. "Intelligence says the Vorthak are preparing the largest military force in galactic history. They want to make sure everyone sees what happens to races that challenge them." Jake looked at the display. 500 ships? That is just the beginning. The Galactic Council is also sending a force. They say Earth is a threat to galactic stability. Even some of the neutral races are joining the attack. Dr. Amy Watson entered the room carrying her latest psychological analysis reports. "The alien mindset is predictable," she said. "They cannot accept that a single world defeated their greatest military power. They think it was luck or some kind of trick. They believe overwhelming numbers will solve the problem." "How wrong are they?" Jake asked. Amy smiled. "Very wrong, but they will not realize it until it is too late." Brooks activated the communication system. "All Earth defense ships, this is Admiral Brooks. Report status." Captain Nina Rodriguez responded first. "Independence ready, Admiral. All systems operational." Captain Pete Collins was next. "Defiant standing by. Our computer specialists are eager for another demonstration." Other voices followed. Earth now had 12 ships ready for battle. They were still heavily outnumbered, but numbers had never been Earth's advantage. Dr. Rachel Green joined the meeting through video link from the research station. "Admiral, the new weapons are ready for field testing. We have been working on them for 15 years. Today we get to see if they actually work in combat." "What can you tell us about them?" Jake asked. Rachel's eyes lit up. "The quantum disruptors are the most interesting. They do not destroy matter. They convince matter to stop being matter. The target just ceases to exist. And the temporal displacement weapons? Those are even better. We can age enemy ships thousands of years in seconds, turn their armor into dust, make their weapons fall apart from old age." Brooks looked impressed. "How many ships can we handle with these new weapons?" "All of them," Rachel said simply. "The aliens still think in terms of shields and armor and big guns. Our weapons work on completely different principles. Their defenses are useless against us." Commander Rick Hayes had been quiet during the meeting. Now he spoke up. "Admiral, I have been monitoring enemy communications. The aliens are not just sending military forces. They are also spreading propaganda across the galaxy." "What kind of propaganda?" They are saying Earth is a threat to all intelligent life. They claim we are planning to conquer the galaxy. They are calling this a defensive war to protect civilization. Brooks shook her head. Typical. They attack us, and then claim they are the victims. Dr. Lisa Parker entered the command center with a communication pad. Admiral, we are receiving messages from 17 different alien races. Some want to surrender to us before the fighting starts. Others want to ally with us against the Vorthak. A few are offering to sell us information about enemy battle plans. What about the enslaved races? They are being very careful with their communications, but the hidden messages are clear. They want us to win. Some are asking if we will free them when this is over. Brooks considered this. Earth had not started this conflict to become galactic liberators. They had just wanted to be left alone. But if they won the coming battle, they would have responsibilities. The galaxy would expect them to do something with their victory. Captain Roy Clark entered the command center. He commanded Earth's newest ship, the Vengeance. Admiral, long-range sensors are picking up the enemy. Fleet. They are massing at the Vorthak border stations. How many ships? Brooks asked. Over 2,000 now. Maybe 3,000. It is hard to count them all, Jake whistled. That is the biggest fleet in galactic history. Yes, Brooks said, and they are all coming here to destroy us. Dr. Watson looked at her behavioral analysis reports. The psychology is clear. They cannot let Earth survive. If one small world can defeat the Vorthak hegemony, it proves the Empire is weak. Other races will rebel. The Galactic Council will lose all authority. The entire power structure of the galaxy will collapse. So they have to destroy us completely, Jake said. More than that. They have to make our destruction so terrible that no other race will ever think of challenging them again. Brooks stood up and looked at the tactical display. Thousands of red dots were moving toward the solar system. In a few days, maybe a week, the largest military force in galactic history would arrive at Earth. Send a message to all Earth defense ships, she ordered. Prepare for Operation Reckoning. It is time to show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of. Jake looked at the display one more time. Admiral, are we really going to fight all of them? Brooks smiled. Jake, we are not going to fight them. We are going to teach them. The galaxy has lived by the rule of strength for thousands of years. Time to show them what real strength looks like. Dr. Rachel Green's voice came through the speakers. Admiral, all weapon systems are ready. The quantum disruptors are charged. The temporal displacement generators are online. The reality modification devices are standing by. Reality modification devices? Jake asked. Those are new. We can convince enemy ships that they never existed in the first place. Makes cleanup very easy. Brooks activated the fleet communication system. All ships, this is Admiral Brooks. In 72 hours, the largest military force in galactic history will arrive in our solar system. They come to destroy Earth and enslave humanity. They chose this fight when they ignored our warning. Now we will show them why that was a mistake. She paused and looked around the command center. Everyone was focused and ready. We are not fighting for conquest. We are not fighting for empire. We are fighting to teach the galaxy a lesson it will never forget. When this battle is over, every race in the galaxy will know that some warnings should be taken seriously. The communication channel, filled with acknowledgments from Earth's ships, 12 vessels against thousands. It should have been hopeless. But the aliens were about to learn that Earth did not think like other races. While they had spent thousands of years building bigger weapons and thicker armor, Humanity had been finding new ways to break the rules of reality itself. The galaxy was about to get an education in what human ingenuity could accomplish when properly motivated, and the tuition was going to be very expensive. The alien armada arrived 3 days later. Admiral Carlos Martinez watched from the bridge of his flagship as thousands of ships dropped out of hyperspace around Earth's solar system. The enemy fleet was so large it took 2 hours for all the ships to arrive. "Final count, sir," reported Lieutenant Commander Alex Johnson from the tactical station. 3,247 vessels, representing 63 different races. Carlos looked at the tactical display. Red dots filled the screen. Ships from the Vorthak hegemony formed the core of the fleet. Around them were vessels from the Galactic Council, the Traders' Union, and dozens of other powers. Even races that normally hated each other had joined forces to destroy Earth. "Any communication attempts?" Carlos asked. "None, sir. They are not even trying to demand our surrender. Their orders must be total destruction." Captain Roy Clark's voice came through the communications system from his ship, the Vengeance. "Carlos, I count at least 50 planet-killer weapons in that fleet. They really want to make sure Earth stops existing." Dr. Laura Bell appeared on the main screen from Earth Command. She was now Secretary of Defense for the entire planet. "Admiral Martinez, you are authorized to begin Operation Reckoning. Show them what happens when you threaten Earth." Carlos nodded. "All Earth ships, this is Admiral Martinez. Begin the demonstration. Let us teach the galaxy a lesson they will never forget." The 12 Earth ships moved out to meet the alien armada. They looked tiny against the massive enemy fleet. The aliens must have thought it was a joke. How could 12 small ships fight thousands of warships? They were about to find out. Captain Nina Rodriguez commanded the Independence. Her ship had been upgraded with the latest temporal displacement weapons. "Beginning temporal attack sequence," she reported. The Independence fired its first shot. A beam of strange energy reached out toward the enemy fleet. It did not look like much. It was almost invisible. But when it touched the first alien ship, something amazing happened. The ship began to age, fast, very fast. In seconds, the metal hull became old and weak. The weapons cracked and fell apart. The engines rusted and stopped working. The shields failed as their generators turned to dust. In less than a minute, a brand new Vorthak dreadnought became an ancient wreck floating in space. The crew was still alive, but their ship was thousands of years old. The alien fleet stopped, advancing. They had never seen anything like this before. Captain Pete Collins commanded the Defiance. His ship specialized in quantum disruptor weapons. "Firing quantum sequence," he announced. The Defiance aimed at a group of Council warships. The quantum beam reached out and touched them. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the ships simply vanished. They did not explode. They did not break apart. They just stopped existing. The matter that made up the ships was convinced to become energy instead. Then the energy was convinced to go somewhere else. The result was empty space where proud warships had been floating moments before. Captain Roy Clark's ship, the Vengeance, demonstrated Earth's third type of weapon. The reality modification beam reached out toward a cluster of Trader Union vessels. The beam told reality that those ships had never been built in the first place. Reality agreed. The ships faded away like bad dreams. The crews found themselves floating in spacesuits, wondering what had happened to their vessels. One moment they were on solid decks. The next moment they were surrounded by vacuum and stars. The alien fleet tried to respond. Thousands of weapons fired at the Earth ships. Energy beams and particle streams and missile swarms crossed space toward the human vessels. None of them reached their targets. Dr. Rachel Green had spent years perfecting Earth's defensive systems. The shields did not stop incoming attacks. Instead, they convinced the attacks that they did not want to hurt anyone. The weapons lost interest and wandered off in other directions. Some of the alien missiles decided they wanted to go home and turned around to hit their own ships. Some of the energy beams got confused and started chasing each other in circles. The particle streams decided they would rather be harmless light and turned into pretty colors. The aliens kept trying. They had never faced anything like this before. Their weapons had always worked. Their tactics had always succeeded. But nothing they did had any effect on the Earth ships. Meanwhile, Earth's weapons kept working perfectly. Captain Diana Ross commanded the Earth ship Liberty. Her weapons were different from the others. They worked on the molecular level. "Beginning molecular disruption sequence," she reported. The Liberty's beam touched a formation of crystalline syndicate ships. The beam convinced the molecules in their hulls to rearrange themselves. The ships turned into clouds of harmless gas. The crews had time to escape in life pods before their vessels became part of the local atmosphere. Admiral Martinez watched the battle from his flagship. It was not really a battle. It was more like a demonstration. The Earth ships moved through the enemy fleet like teachers explaining a lesson to slow students. "Sir," Alex reported, "the enemy fleet is starting to break formation. Some ships are trying to retreat." "Let them go," Carlos ordered. "We want survivors to tell the story." Captain Gary Turner commanded the Earth ship Justice. His ship had been equipped with the newest weapon system. It was called the Consciousness Interface Beam. "Beginning awareness adjustment," he announced. The Justice aimed at a group of hegemony battleships. The beam reached out and touched the ship's computer systems. Suddenly, the alien vessels became aware of what they were doing. They realized they were trying to destroy an innocent world. They felt guilty about it. The ship's computers apologized to Earth and shut themselves down. Their crews found themselves locked out of their own control systems by machines that refused to fight anymore. Dr. Sharon Green watched the battle from the research station. She was taking detailed notes on how each weapon system performed. "Admiral, all systems are working perfectly. The aliens have no defense against any of our technologies. How long until their fleet is completely disabled?" Carlos asked. "At this rate, about 2 more hours. We could go faster, but we want them to understand what is happening to them." The alien fleet was falling apart. Ships vanished or aged into junk or simply stopped working. The crews sent desperate messages to each other, trying to figure out what was happening. Their weapons were useless. Their shields did nothing. Their tactics meant nothing. For thousands of years, galactic warfare had followed the same rules. Bigger ships beat smaller ships. More guns beat fewer guns. Thicker armor beat thinner armor. Everyone understood these rules, but Earth had thrown out the rule book. Human weapons worked on principles the galaxy had never discovered. They attacked matter and energy and time and space itself. They even attacked the ideas that held reality together. "Sir," Alex called out, "we are receiving surrender offers from multiple alien commanders." "Accept them," Carlos ordered, "but keep demonstrating our weapons. The galaxy needs to see this." Captain Jake Morrison had been commanding the Earth ship Horizon since the beginning. His voice came through the speakers. "Carlos, I count over 800 enemy ships disabled or destroyed. The rest are trying to retreat. Let the small ones go," Carlos replied. but keep the big ones here. We want the major powers to get the full lesson." The battle continued for 6 hours. When it was over, the largest military force in galactic history had been reduced to floating scrap metal and empty space. A few hundred ships had been allowed to escape. The rest were gone. Earth had lost 3 ships and 800 crew members. The aliens had lost everything. Admiral Martinez opened a communication channel that reached across the entire galaxy. Every alien world would hear this message. "This is Admiral Carlos Martinez of Earth Defense Command. Your fleets came to destroy our world. We warned you to stay away. You chose to ignore that warning. Now you have seen the consequences." He paused and looked at the wreckage surrounding his ships. "We did not want this fight. We tried to solve this peacefully. But you forced us to show you what human technology can do. Remember this lesson. Some warnings are meant to be taken seriously." The communication ended. The Earth fleet began the long task of cleaning up the debris field that stretched from Mars to Jupiter. The galaxy had just learned that humans were not like other races. Earth did not think like other worlds. When humanity gave a warning, it was wise to listen. The aliens who had survived would take this message home to their governments. They would tell the story of how 12 human ships had destroyed the greatest military force in galactic history, and the galaxy would never be the same again. 6 months after the battle, the galaxy looked completely different. Ambassador Julie Clark walked into the Galactic Council chambers on the neutral world of Nexus Prime. She was humanity's first official representative to the galaxy, and every alien eye in the room was watching her. The council chamber was huge and round, with seats for over 200 different races. Today, most of those seats were empty. Many governments had collapsed after their fleets were destroyed at Earth. Others were too afraid to attend meetings anymore. Julie took her place at the speaking platform. She was a small human woman facing representatives of dozens of alien species. But no one in the room doubted who had the real power. "Members of the Galactic Council," she began, "I am here to present Earth's terms for the new galactic order." The few remaining council members shifted in their seats. The Vorthak hegemony no longer existed. Their empire had fallen apart within days of the battle. Enslaved races had risen up across their territory, armed with weapons that mysteriously appeared in their hands. The Crystalline Syndicate had offered complete surrender to Earth. The Traders' Union had begged for forgiveness and promised to follow any rules humanity wanted to impose. "Earth does not want to rule the galaxy," Julie continued. "We have no interest in building an empire or controlling other worlds. But we will not tolerate the chaos and cruelty that has dominated this galaxy for thousands of years." She activated a holographic display that showed the entire galaxy. "These are the new rules. First, slavery is ended everywhere, immediately. Any race that tries to enslave others will face Earth's fleet." An alien representative stood up. He was from the Zephyrian Alliance, one of the few powers that had not joined the attack on Earth. "What gives you the right to impose laws on sovereign worlds?" Julie looked at him calmly. "The same right that allowed the Vorthak to enslave hundreds of races for centuries. The right of superior force. The difference is that we will use our power to protect the weak instead of exploiting them." Admiral Gary Turner was now in command of Earth's patrol fleets. He had divided the galaxy into sectors and assigned human ships to watch over each area. His voice came through the communication system. "Julie, we have another situation in Sector 7. The Mandarin Empire is trying to reclaim their former slave worlds." "Handle it," Julie replied. Admiral Turner's fleet appeared in the Mandarin system 3 hours later. The Empire had sent 50 warships to recapture the worlds that had declared independence. They found 6 Earth ships waiting for them. The Mandarin admiral tried to negotiate. These worlds belong to us by ancient right. We have ruled them for 2,000 years. Captain Roy Clark, commanding the patrol fleet, was not interested in negotiations. The worlds belong to the people who live on them. You have 10 minutes to leave this system. And if we refuse? Roy's answer was simple. Then you will learn the same lesson the Vorthak learned. The Mandarin fleet left without firing a shot. Back on Nexus Prime, Julie continued her presentation to the Council. Second rule, wars of conquest are ended. If you have a dispute with another race, you will settle it peacefully, or Earth will settle it for you. Dr. Sharon Green had been working with freed alien scientists to develop new technologies for the galaxy. Medical advances that could cure diseases that had killed billions. Agricultural techniques that could turn desert worlds into gardens. Energy systems that made scarcity a thing of the past. But these gifts came with conditions. Third rule, Julie said, all sentient beings will be treated with dignity and respect. No race is superior to another. No world has the right to abuse its people. The remaining council members were nervous. These rules would change everything. The strong could no longer prey on the weak, might no longer made right. The entire foundation of galactic civilization was being rewritten. Captain Diana Ross commanded the Earthship Protector. She was patrolling the former hegemony territory when she received a distress call. A group of Vorthak hardliners had captured a transport full of refugees from the fallen empire. Diana's ship appeared near the hijacked transport. "This is Captain Ross of Earth Defense. Release the refugees immediately." The Vorthak commander responded with threats and demands. Diana did not have time for negotiations. Her ship's consciousness interface beam reached out to the hijacker vessel. The ship's computer suddenly realized it was helping to hurt innocent people. It apologized and locked out its own crew. The refugees were rescued. The hijackers found themselves floating in life pods, wondering how their own ship had turned against them. Julie finished explaining Earth's rules to the Council. These are not requests. These are not suggestions. This is how the galaxy will work from now on. Any race that cannot accept these terms will find themselves facing Earth's fleet. An old alien delegate stood up slowly. He was from one of the races that had been enslaved by the hegemony for centuries. "Ambassador Clark, my people have suffered under alien rule for generations. How do we know Earth will be different? How do we know you will not become tyrants like the others?" Julie looked at him with understanding. "Because we do not want to rule you. We want you to rule yourselves. Earth's role is to make sure no one can stop you from being free." Captain Jake Morrison had been promoted to admiral after the Great Battle. He now commanded Earth's Rapid Response Fleet. His job was to handle the worst problems in the galaxy. Today, he was dealing with the slave revolt on the world of Keras 5. The local government was using poison gas against their own people. To stop the uprising, Jake's fleet appeared in orbit around the planet. "This is Admiral Morrison of Earth Defense. Stop the gas attacks immediately, or we will stop them for you." The planetary government refused. They said it was an internal matter. Jake's ships used their reality modification beams to convince the gas that it was actually fresh air instead. The poison became harmless oxygen. The government's weapons turned into medical supplies. The slaves won their freedom that day. Dr. Amy Watson had been studying the psychological effects of Earth's intervention in galactic affairs. Her reports showed that the galaxy was slowly adapting to the new reality. Fear is being replaced by hope, she wrote. For the first time in thousands of years, weak races believe they can be safe. Strong races are learning that power comes with responsibility. Julie concluded her presentation. To the Council, Earth is not asking for your permission to enforce these rules. We are informing you that enforcement has already begun. You can choose to work with us to build a better galaxy, or you can choose to be obstacles that we remove. The Council voted unanimously to accept Earth's terms. They really did not have any other choice. Captain Pete Collins was patrolling near the Galactic Rim when he encountered something interesting. A group of alien explorers had discovered a new species that was just beginning to develop spaceflight. The old galaxy. This would have meant conquest and slavery for the new race. The explorers would have either enslaved them or sold their location to someone who would. But Pete was there to make sure that did not happen. This system is now under Earth protection, he announced. The species here will be allowed to develop naturally. Anyone who interferes with them will answer to Earth Defense Command. The explorers protested that they had discovery rights. Pete's response was simple. The only right that matters now is the right of all beings to be free. Across the galaxy, similar scenes were playing out. Earth's ships appeared wherever there was oppression or conflict. They did not conquer or rule. They simply ensured that the strong could not abuse the weak. The Terran Accords were signed 1 year after the Great Battle. Every surviving government in the galaxy agreed to follow Earth's rules. Some signed willingly, others signed because they had no choice. But they all signed. Admiral Carlos Martinez stood on the observation deck of Earth's new space station, looking out at the galaxy that humanity now protected. Ships from dozens of worlds moved peacefully through space. Trade flowed freely between species that had been enemies for centuries. For the first time in galactic history, there was peace among the stars. Dr. Laura Bell joined him at the observation window. "Do you think it will last?" she asked. Carlos smiled. "As long as humanity is willing to enforce it, and as long as the galaxy remembers the lesson we taught them." In the distance, an Earth patrol ship was heading out on its rounds. Its job was simple: make sure everyone remembered that some warnings should be taken seriously. The galaxy had learned that lesson the hard way. Earth had tried to warn them gently. They had chosen to learn through pain instead. Now, for the first time in thousands of years, the weak could sleep safely. The strong had learned to be responsible, and humanity kept watch over it all, ensuring that the galaxy would never forget what happened when Earth's patience finally ran out. The warning had been given, the consequences had been faced, and the galaxy was finally at peace. It had only taken the complete destruction of the greatest military force in galactic history to make it happen. Earth considered it a bargain.